Hi everyone, I am Sukhpal Singh Gill. Today I am going to discuss about software testing. That is very important topic for the software engineering. So now what is software testing? So software testing is a process of finding errors while executing the program before delivering it to the end user. So we have to identify the number of errors which are existing. So next thing we have to check requirement conformance means whatever requirements has been signed between the user and the provider or developer on SRS document. SRS document is software requirement specification document which has been signed between the user and the developer. So that is the official document. So next we have to check performance, whether this software or tool or whatever it is performing according to the expectation or not. So the main thing is that is quality of service. So we have to check the quality of this software based on the quality of service parameters, which can be reliability, availability, security, cost, time, whatever it can be. So which has been mentioned in the SRS document. So we have to check that during the software testing. So we have to perform different types of testing, which can be black box, which can be white box. I'm going to explain in the coming slides. So who is going to test the software? So software can be tested by a developer, which is similar to the alpha testing, and it can be tested by the independent tester. So that can be independent testing team. So which can be like a beta testing, or it can be like a user testing. So at the developer side, it understands the system very well, and it will test very gently and doing the test cases which can be passed easily. But for independent tester or developing team, this is basically a third party. So they have to check the system thoroughly and they will try to break it and find the possible errors or faults in this system before delivering it to the user to make sure the quality of the software. So independent testing is very strict as compared to the developer side testing. So what is good test? So a good test has a high probability of finding an error. So means we have to find the maximum number of errors. So which contain the good number of test cases. So a good test is not redundant, means there is no duplication of test cases. So a good test should be a best of breed, means they have to identify the best test cases which can find out the maximum number of errors in less test cases using less test cases. A good test should be neither too simple or not too complex. So if it will be very complex, then user will find some difficulty to test when they have to do the beta testing or user testing. So it should be easily understandable. So not too simple means that we have to make some test cases in similar way that it can execute all the possible statements or conditions to find out the possible errors during the execution. So now what is exhaustive testing? So exhaustive testing is when we have to test all the possible paths available in this control flow graph, which is not possible practically. So you can see this control flow graph, and so for this control flow graph, we have a 10 raised power 14 possible paths. So if we have to execute one test per millisecond, then it will take 3170 years to test this program. So that is really impossible. So to avoid that thing, exhaustive testing is not possible. So we have to find out the best test cases to test the software and tool to identify the maximum number of errors at runtime. So next thing is test case design. So according to Boris Bezier, bugs lurk in the corners. You can see in this diagram, you can see in the corner and congregate at the boundaries. So you have to check all the boundaries. So it can exist anywhere in this corner also. Maybe you can find or not. So the objective of test case design is, what is the objective? To uncover errors, means to identify the number of errors. So what would be the criteria? In a complete manner means you have to apply all the possible test cases to find out the maximum number of errors in all the statements and conditions. And what would be the constraint? That is very important. With a minimum number of effort and time. Why? That's why the iPhone is very expensive as compared to the Samsung phones, because they have done like they have done very good testing. So they are putting more efforts and time. That's why iPhones are expensive as compared to Samsung, and followed by the Redmi. So testing is very important. If you will do it efficiently with the minimum number of efforts and minimum time, then your test cases and your testing technique would be really efficient and will save money as well as the time. So now what are the important types of software testing, which is white box testing and black box testing. So they have various methods and approaches under both the testing techniques. So white box testing. So why it is called white? White means when everything is visible. So we have to test the code internally. So our goal is to ensure that all the statements and conditions have been executed at least once. So all the statements that is written and conditions, here you can see the green. So all the conditions and all the statements, these statements. So that must be executed at least once to identify the errors, possible errors. So that's why it is called white box testing. Means we have to look into the code and we have to trace every statement or condition to find out the errors. So now I'm going to discuss about the very important metric of software testing, that is McCabe cyclomatic complexity. So we have three different methods to calculate the value of cyclomatic complexity. So we can calculate with the help of E minus n plus 2. E means number of edges. N means number of nodes. E minus n plus 2. Or the second method is number of predicate nodes plus 1. Or the third method is number of enclosed areas. So here I'm taking an example of like simple program. That is, in this program we are just computing the GCD, and corresponding we have a control flow graph. So based on this control flow graph, we are going to calculate the cyclomatic complexity with the help of three different methods. So according to the first method, that is equal to E minus n plus 2. So E means basically number of edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So number of edges are 7. So number of nodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 6. E minus n plus 2, 7 minus 6 plus 2 is equal to 3. So according to the first method, the value of cyclomatic complexity is 3. So now I'm going to discuss second method, that is number of predicate nodes plus 1. So we have to find out the number of predicate nodes. So what is predicate node? So which node has two outward directions, more than one. So like this, 1 is predicate node and 2 is predicate node. So number of predicate nodes plus 1. So 2 plus 1. The value is again 3. So the value of cyclomatic complexity is 3. So now I'm going to explain the last method, that is number of enclosed areas. So enclosed area, you can see this. So this is one enclosed area, this is second enclosed area, and this is the third enclosed area, means universe. So total number of enclosed areas are 3. So the cyclomatic complexity is again 3. With the help of all the three methods, we have calculated the McCabe cyclomatic complexity, that is 3 for this program and this and their corresponding control flow graph. So now I'm going to discuss about the next important testing technique, that is black box testing. So now we are not going to play with the code, we are just playing with the inputs and outputs. So we have to give some input and we have to test the whether output is according to our requirement or not. So the first type of black box testing is equivalence class partitioning. in which we have to define one valid class and two invalid classes. Two invalid classes. So that is very important. So for example, if the equivalence class is set of integers in the range of 1 to 10, so the valid class is 1 to 10. So 1 and 10 both are included. So we have to use the closed interval. Then invalid equivalence class should be minus infinity to, because 1 is already included, so it should be minus infinity to 0. And the second invalid class would be after 10, that should be 11 to infinity. So we have to define the one valid and two invalid equivalence classes. So valid are already defined because this program is valid for 1 to 10, that's all right. So for invalid we have to define two classes, equivalence classes that should be invalid, which should not belong to this range. So 1 and 10 is already included, so we have to use the closed interval, and outside this range we have to define two invalid classes, that is minus infinity to 0 and 11 to infinity. So we have to make test cases. So make some test cases from this. You can use test cases from this, and you can also use test cases any value from this or any value from this. That could be a three kind of different test cases. So if you will use the value is equal to 5, then this test case will be passed because it belongs to 1 to 10. Any value from 1 to 10 it will be passed, but any value from minus infinity to 0 or 11 to infinity, then test case will be failed. So this is basically a black box testing type first, that is equivalence class partitioning. We have a three different classes, one valid, two invalid. So valid class is always pass, and two invalid classes where we have to check that program should not work. So that is basically a invalid class. So this is basically a second type of black box testing, that is boundary value analysis. So we have to design test cases using values at the boundaries. So boundary word is very important here, of different equivalence classes. So the range is basically 1 to 10, and you can see this is a boundary 1 and 10. So we have to identify the values at the boundaries. So what could be the possible values? You can see this, that could be 0, that is near to the 1, and here it could be like a 11. So these are basically boundaries. So we have to test our program on the boundaries. Then you have to check whether this program is working successfully or not at the boundary values. So total values we can test on 0, 1, 10 and 11. So this is basically boundary value analysis, how we have to test our program at the boundary values. So range should be same, and what here we have to define the testing values at boundaries. So like this 0 is not included in this range, 1 is included, 10 is included, 11 is not included. So these are basically boundary values. Thank you very much for watching this video. So if you have any question related to this topic, please feel free to write in the comment section. Thank you very much.